Yeah, so, okay, I have a question at this point. You called it a practice. Thank you for also describing it threadbare. This is very useful for most of the listeners who would probably be listening to these radical thoughts for the first time, or at least not in such detail, at least not on our platform. So I have a question. There is a certain sense of conditioning we bring with ourselves. So we say this guy is always angry, or this guy is always uh, of a certain kind, or with ourselves also. We tend to believe stories that we tell ourselves. We tend to believe stories that others tell us about ourselves. So in that scenario, there is a picture we form of ourselves, which is very strongly inhabited by us as a mind space. So I'm a good writer, I'm a bad writer, I'm a good presenter, I'm a bad presenter. Uh, and also my success and failure then colors that imagery, and we keep on building this whole uh, comfort zone now that you called it. Earlier, I would have called it personality trait, but I think it's a good way to understand that this is a comfort zone. We like to believe we are this or that. But you very rightly put that all situations, in spite of the fact that uh, they may be repetitive, but they are not the same. So, my question to you is with so many years of one kind of living, for people like us, now I would want you to kind of guide us on how you take workshops, if I'm not mistaken, on your way of life a bit, on some raw food that one of my friends attended, if I'm not mistaken. So, what is it that you really talk about or teach to participants, or what is the kind of experience you create? What does really happen? Is there a shift that happens, and can you tell us a little about what really happens there? Because I am curious as a person who stayed in the city milieu. Uh, I've been lucky enough to read a lot of Zen when I was young. So mental space is not really city. So I managed to survive, if I were to call it that. So my question to you is, what is it that you tell others who accompany you or who are first timers on a journey like yours? Uh, how do you ease their concerns? Do you do anything at all, or do you leave them at their devices? Because we are clever, and that is a problem. Uh, so how do we save ourselves?
Uh, it's raining over here, so
Yeah,
it's extremely loud. I need to put in the earphone, but the
yeah,
breakage, I couldn't hear anything. Because of the rain, I couldn't hear anything, and the voice breakage.
yeah. My question was that we all have a certain sense of being that we think we possess. We are either very good or very bad. We are very professional or unprofessional. We have these kind of colorings that we come from, and the cleverness of this situation, whether self-imposed or imposed by others on us, and accepted by us, we use it to negotiate the world and keep living the dead life. So in your scenario, when there are others who are not Deepak, who have not reached the level of acceptance that you have, who are spending time with you, uh, what is it that they experience, or what is it that you try and help them understand? Is there anything in particular? I'm sure that the loose word would be philosophy, but I am not much a believer of lines of thought. How do you make them live a certain experience where they are able to live more fully rather than through their conditioned self?
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
It's it's again referring to the second-hand life.
Yeah, it is.
If I start living based on the words, labels, images, judgments given by others or by myself to me, it is living in those boxes as a second-hand life, because the next moment is not going to be the same. It's going to be the different. It's marrying to the dead. If I believe that I am let's say a good artist or a good painter or a good singer, whatever people say to praise me or whatever people say to criticize me, it's their opinions, their words, their labels, their judgments, their imaginations. If I change my behavior, attitude at this moment based on their imaginations, opinions, words, it is living as per them. It is again a second-hand life. So practically how it works is whatever people say, just smile and delete it next moment. Literally delete it.
Okay.
Not getting carried away by the words that people say, by the opinions, by the judgments, including the praise or the criticism. Yes, if that is something that their words can be used to have a reflection on our actions, something that I feel that I should improve. It should be a genuine feeling that I should improve. Then their words can act as a trigger. But carried away with that, being carried away, even after so many months or years, living as per their imagination is a second hand life. So making things delete is a way to live a fresh life.
Okay. Uh, okay, I'll ask you one practical question. There is this theory that one has heard for a long time. Very difficult to live in the, at least in the scenario that I live. So there is lunchtime. We all feel hungry because it is lunchtime, not because we are hungry, but because it is lunchtime. And we've kind of fixed calling it lunch, and practical way of living in a house with other people is that they figure out, okay, this is the time to give this person food, so the utensils can be cleaned, kept back for the maid to come or stuff like that, or use the dishwasher, so they are back in their place. So all the systems are around this one focused meal time, breakfast, lunch, dinner, so that there is no chaos, or rather, so the chaos is manageable. Uh, Now, practically, if I call you for lunch, I had read about this in Japan. There was this place where they had the maximum number of centenarians, and they had this theory. If I told you I'll see you sometime, it meant sometime, anytime, next week, next month, anytime. It didn't necessarily mean that I'm coming within next 2 days to your place to see you. They really lived their life without the concept of time, which seemed very, very intriguing and beautiful. But in city life, we cannot keep our appointments as loose as that. So, coming back to my question, how does one free oneself from these? See, these are very deep concepts now. They are no longer about, oh, I believe so it is, but it is, all of us live it's a lived truth, even if it is past tense, like you call it. It's a very strong experience for me too. So my question is basically whether it is lunch or dinner or appointments or things that are needed for human beings to be sure of each other for that time being. So if you and I have a business meeting or something regarding a job, say I'm a carpenter and you are sitting at home and you call me, I can't say I'll come whenever I want. There has to be a certain fixed way of looking at things. At 3, I shall see you. If you're a friend who's coming from out of town and we are meeting for lunch and you have only 1 hour, and we're just meeting at a point and just going to have lunch and get a time to catch up. Uh, you may not be hungry, or I may not be hungry, or there might be some other thing, but we do take parts of this dead life as important because this is the only way we can reach out to each other at times, at least in the fixed ways that we are living. So how do you manage when you come back to the city and people expect let's go for a movie kind of thing? I don't know whether you watch movies. I mostly don't these days, but or a thing that is supposed to be a done thing, a picnic, a party, where people are going to say the normal things. Oh, you're looking very thin and you're looking very fat, or whatever. Oh, so how these days Deepak is in the jungles and then they have the stamp on Deepak, grown up Mowgli or whatever, ABC. So how do you make your life revolve around such things? Does any of these things happen to you when you come back to the city life? Uh, because these are things a lot of people will think these are important ways to live their quote unquote important lives. Uh, what do you have to say to that? That's a practical need, they would call it. Yeah, I trip people well, I think.
So the moment a person's transformation has started,
Yeah.
the person is getting renovated, no? It's getting new. That in itself transforms the way that person's social culture works, society around him or her.
Uh, you were saying something about when a person's transformation starts, things start to change. So the
Yes,
social culture
yes,
and things around him also start being perceived differently.
yes. So I do not live a life of attachments. I am not attached to uh, the friends that I had, or you know, all the baggage of attachment that we carry, that this is what I'm supposed to do at this age, at this age. If that is not there,